Before I get to the news, umami, umami, seasoning with mushrooms and onion. What's that? All right, fine, Sandra. Great, it's amazing seasoning. My friend sent me that. That's how you say it. Umami. Oh, mommy, super amazing. So thank you, friend. Got new LED headlights. You know any more mishaps? You were not blocked, so David fucked up and he was talking shit for no reason. Yeah, and so that it had nothing to do with you at all. I was just making, that's the thing with the mods, you know, I have to make sure, I'm very thorough with making sure that everybody, like, I don't want someone to be blocked unjustly, like, you know, there's a lot of people, and that's the duty of mod wars and everything, so yeah, pretty cool looking LEDs, so hopefully that they work out. I've been on the phone all morning, I'm about to get to the big news, I just want to show you everything. So, I also have 2 new solar panels, so I'm at 400 watts right now. The person sent me 2 new solar panels, so that's going to put me at 600 watts, I have to glue some wood up there, and get back up there, glue, I need to clean the panels, and they got me a 3-way thing to add that up to this. So I really appreciate you helping me out with that. So that's gonna, I'm gonna go get an e-bike today or possibly tomorrow. And I might have to get the other battery hooked up. I'm gonna take the old water heater out, which is propane, eliminate that, and put my I have one more battery to put in here. So I have 600 watts. My charge controller only takes in 580 watts. I'm pulling in like 450, 460 watts, even though they're sitting flat at high noon, which is really good. They're rated for 400 watts. So at noon, I will have more energy than I can use because of my inverter. But the rest of the day, I'll be able to pull in 600 watts, which should keep my batteries completely charged. And then I'll have the extra capacity for the e-bike and charging that up. It's a foldable thing. I'm getting to the lawyer here in a second. I'm just going over this. Because, yeah, what else do I got to do? I've been on the phone. I was like, I'm sitting at the gym waiting to go into the gym. And I didn't want to do this in the gym because I want to talk about my thing. I screwed up the person got me the crock pot. I ruined it somehow. I got it wet. Even your phone battery. So I got a jack, a USB and Type-C jack right by my bed. And I have a cord that comes down here. But I need to get the LED wired in for the front scrolling thing. I need to get that LED wired in, hardwired, and I need to get a USB/Type-C charger right on the dashboard here, so that I can I could not be losing my batteries so much. So the goals, aspirations. I've literally been on the phone all day, and I don't know if you guys all saw this. Some of you guys seen this? Yeah, fuck yeah. Well, I am the fucking king of content here. I did get these things. I need to get these onto the front hood. Welderman made these. They're like, I love how they're all just like kind of like just awesome. They're not perfect. They're just beautiful, and I love the unperfectness of them because I'm definitely imperfect. Okay, let's get rid of you. So I'm gonna put these on both sides of the hood, and then he also made, well, this is Welderman. He also made me DOA lettering with like nuts, super cool, and even gave me the templates, cover templates, so I can put that on. So super amazing. I think I'm gonna add some red. I'm gonna add to this gray. I like the gray font, super cool. So I got that going on. What else did I get today? Anything else? As they build up suspense. Does the person in chat want to say? You want to take credit? You can take credit for it. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say who did it. They can say it. They can take the credit for it. So someone real special, some amazing person out there pulled some strings and. They pulled some strings and made some contacts. So Sicker Chick did it. And she contacted some people, and they contacted some people, and they contacted some people. And so right now I have a lawyer. I'm not going to say who it is. This person is a character just like me. He may or may not have represented someone in the porn industry for a huge case. He's an animal rights activist, and so he knows about Jazzy, and not yet about Sticker Chick's dog. And and as ties to UCLA and not UCLA, you represent a different activist. And so it is I got pricing. It's a $10,000 retainer. I will have a receipt. He's gonna make up a receipt for me that I can share publicly. For that $10,000 is to the preliminary. Whatever charges stick after the preliminary, they are $10,000. It's $10,000 per charge. So I have 6 charges. That would be $60,000. So for the morons who don't think that shit's expensive as fuck. So hopefully, I'm hoping that 4 of them I think could easily be beat in preliminary. The other 2 I'm worried about, so that would be like $30,000, which we're at about 20 grand right now. So that would be another 10 that we'd have to raise, and yeah. So so that's where it's at. I have actual prices, something that I could I know how much it would go to ties and no, I don't think so. I don't know. It takes a huge weight off my shoulder. It makes me feel like it's amazing. He kind of has a good understanding of what's going on. I was able to have a good conversation with him. What's up, Zelda? And so what else? Yeah, I'm not gonna say much about him. Yeah, and I feel I love that it's based per count. So the preliminary, that was some of the reason I wanted to go to the preliminary and do it, to like drop off the prices, to cut off the prices of it. Like in my head it was like, I'm gonna represent myself. I'll do the preliminary. I'll knock off 1,000 here, 1,000. I'll knock out a couple charges so that if I retain a lawyer afterwards, it'd be cheaper, right? So that kind of like the way he's doing it, that pricing. I didn't explain any of that to him. That was just 10,000 retainer to probable cause, 10,000 per felony, and so that just that's okay, cool. Like, and he's I will eventually tell you who this porn person was, and everybody knows him. He's probably one of the most famous ones out there, and not porn per se, but porn, and yeah, it's not technically porn. It is, but it's not in your traditional sense. But he's like, there's a big case. So this is a big time lawyer. He's not like it's not just some, it's a well-known lawyer. Yeah, so I'm excited about it, and I feel confident. Like, yeah, like a lot of that stress was being like all these charges are so overcharged that it won't even pass the preliminary. So $10,000 is breathable. I mean, I could walk away with it all gone, which is it's a possibility. And I'm gonna go silent on this case now. In that sense, I'm gonna put together a legal team again and have them work in helping get some of the all the details packaged real nice and neat, so that he could easily move through it. Thank you to those who helped me already. So I'm going to be going silent on that charge, on those charges, the misdemeanors. I'm still be talking about the misdemeanors. And so there'll be radio silence on that. And I hope that people in chat too stay radio silent on the felony case, which is the planters and all that stuff. I want to be the best client that I could possibly be, and because people just kind of put their name out, and I was able to use those names to make that happen. So I don't want to be an issue for those people's names. I told him about Scientology, and we were just having like a general thing. He asked me if I knew somebody. He's like, oh yeah, that organization messed with this guy, and I don't remember who it was, who this person was. I guess it was his friend or something. So that's how he referred to it. He didn't really know. He just called it that organization, so he doesn't really know anything about it. And then he asked me, he's like, I was like, Scientology's, they mess with you, and they mess with me. He's like, so they mess with you a bunch? I was like, yeah. And then he's like, so they might start messing with me too? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, that's why I wanted to say that out loud, so you were aware that that's a possibility. And so, maybe he could just represent me for this case and then help me beat it and then go on and not be involved. I also got referrals for like 5 other lawyers. And so I have those in. I had talked to the other lawyer this morning and reaffirmed with him. So I have a secondary lawyer that I was going to hire until I talked to this guy, and it was $15,000, but he wouldn't put a price on anything. So I feel just like, even if it was $100,000, like I now know what to expect. Like, that guy could have asked for $500,000 for all I care. I'm not sure if they messed with Dorothy. I'm not sure. So it's hard to say, right? What did Gina ask? Did they ever? Oh yeah, I didn't answer that. The misdemeanors are the bullhorn. So yeah, I'll go over with some. I'm gonna do like a private StreamYard with the people that help me kind of organize some of the stuff that I got. Yeah, no, I feel so good. Like I think that 2 out of the 6 charges they might be able to get to stick, and yeah, 2 of the 4 charges might be able to get to stick. Here's a thing with the misdemeanors. The misdemeanors are nothing in the law says anything about amplified devices. Okay, so they keep saying that I'm using the bullhorn, but it's not per se illegal to use a bullhorn, right? It's not illegal to use a bullhorn. In both of those, it's disturbing the peace and loud and righteous noise. So a bullhorn is not necessarily illegal, and so there is no law that says bullhorns. And I've done a hard time. I'm not gonna cry, but oh my god, I feel like so good. Like I feel so good. So we have, in the process of getting that money out of the Gifts and Go. We're just waiting on Gifts and Go to get the money, but I think we almost have 10 grand sitting around for. Crazy how many things they tried before finally setting on loud noise. Yeah, but again, yeah, thank you, Sticker Chick. I'm gonna try to be the least J6er as possible. I talked to Taylor Toronto's, or I messaged with Erica, Taylor Toronto's wife, this morning, and Taylor thinks he's gonna get a better trial with the judge. I don't know. I think a jury. I think the narrative with the J6ers is that the jury, like a jury impaneled in DC. I mean, I guess that might be true. And so he is going to a bench trial. I don't know why he would do a bench trial when the judges rule against everything he's done. But DC's different, and so I don't know why I just brought that up. I just wanted to put that out. Yeah. So I feel so good. I just feel so good because it could be all figured out for 10 grand, right? Even that difference from that 15 grand to 10 grand, because Josiah's lawyer was $6,500 for 1 felony and one thing. So 8 for 10 grand isn't that much for the preliminary. And even Henry's, how much did we raise for Henry for his petty offense that he pled out to? Was it 3,500? 5,500. Yeah. So everybody was wrong about when I should have done it. Like everything had to play out just the way it played out. This could be having an open-end thing. And if for whatever reason I do win at the 10 grand, the other 10 grand could go for counsel for the misdemeanors, or it could go for counsel for the thing. So, and so that money is going to be used. That's going to be used. I'm going to show the receipt. I already let him know that I want to publicly share the receipt so that I could raise more funds. I need funds. This is what it takes to expose Scientology and corruption and the collaboration. Both might apply, maybe not. The conspiracy of Northeast Hollywood and Central Division with Scientology and the city of Los Angeles. This is how it's going to be exposed, is through court. And so I feel very comfortable asking for more money and others raising money for me. And we got the Vonathon, which is formerly known as Vonathon, but we're asking for money for Von for under the guise of Von, because everyone loves a good Von. And some of you guys don't like it, and that's okay. We have to have some of our LOL cows, man. If you guys are gonna be bullies and you're gonna be spreading misinformation, I am gonna address in another stream Dan Walks LA's post. I'm gonna try doing it in a very loving way. I don't want Dan to stop protesting, and that's really sad if he does stop protesting. Never in 1,000 years has that been any type of plan. I don't know if he's watched any of the streams of trying to get everyone to come, and the introduction of all the different streamers, Nance Drew, Denver J, all this stuff of trying to get people to come out and to create a community of protesters. That's just not reality. It's just not the thing. How I'm express myself is way different than all the other streamers, but that's also why I'm effective, and that's also why I force conversations. And if you're being honest, yeah, some of you guys don't like the Von thing, and that's totally fine. You know, there's a time and a place, but the person who's running the 24-hour fundraiser is addicted to Von and Von Tent. So no, I appreciate everything that Dan does, you know, and Laura considers Dan a really close friend, and I you know, Laura's someone that I cherish my friendship with and have a great love for her, and so this thing about being a victim of DOA, though, is just a nonstop narrative that keeps getting pushed, and we're not getting down to the root problems of why is DOA saying what he's saying, why is he like windmilling, and that's what I really appreciate about Sticker Chick and her addiction to Von, because Von is kind of the leader of a lot of the group here. She's been heavily involved with the QAnon false conspiracy that a Scientologist, Lee Dundas, created this. Riddle and Von are a product of Scientology programming, and a lot of y'all don't understand that at all. And so Lee Dundas, and this isn't a MAGA thing, but there are MAGA players. Okay, sorry, my righty friends or people who fall to the right, you know, but the left's right on General Flynn. Okay. And see, look at the chat. See that? There's support for Dan. I like Dan. I love the wagon, and I love Dan and his energy and everything. This is some of the associations, but I'm gonna do a whole stream about that. I want to talk about it fully. And you know, the first rule of Anti-Scientology Club is not to mention any names. But we know that the person talking about fence riding was me. But I want to express that. I want to do it in a very loving way. This is not where I want to do it. And so, but I want to make a whole stream dedicated to just talking about it and openly and because it is things that need to be talked about. And I'm also not the best at my delivery. I'm fucking rude. I'm like a rude Jude. Back to Von and Sticker Chick. Thank you, Sticker Chick. But I was telling Sticker Chick how much I appreciate what she does. I'm not talking about it personally or privately. I would totally be open to it. But right now, the post was made out in the open, and I want to do it out in the open. And that's that is my style. It will always be my style. I'm never changing that. I'm never changing that. Because it was talked about in a post, and I talk about it here and there, and I'm always open to talk about stuff in the public, and that's unfortunately me. That's just how I am, and I'm always willing to talk to anybody in the private on the phone, but I also am a very public figure. I pride myself on people who follow me or who help me out, part of the community that I try to associate with, that they know that it's out in the open, right? It's out there for everyone to kind of comment on, because everyone's opinions matter to me. And we are, as streamers, we are all public figures, unfortunately. You know, I'm not going to share any personal information, but we are all public streamers in this community. And that's just what it is. And like I said, I really like, I don't have any complaints on Dan as a person. I really just don't. I think he's an amazing protester. And I understand people definitely need to take breaks from this shit, because they'll drive you fucking crazy. And No one's bullied by anybody. No one's bullied. No one's bullied. You know, there's a lot of people in Germany that stayed out of drama too. And I don't mean to bring it back to Germany, but this staying out, attacks on me, on my character, lies. That's not drama to me. That's what it is. No one's been bullied. I've said things that made people angry and think that try to make it bullying, but that's not okay. I'm going back to Vaughn real quick and General Flynn. And General Flynn, and like I said, there'll be a whole stream about it where we're just talking about this. And no one bullied anybody. General Flynn, and stop talking about it. We're not talking about it. We'll talk about it in another chat, okay? We're going to talk about a little bit about Sticker Chick and why I admire what she's done, and does X-ray have anything to do with this? I want to talk about the Queen Vaughn, the Vaughn tent, okay, and why Vaughn is like a real important player in kind of the trolls. She's given them a place that like kind of, Sandra, I hold Sandra in very high regard because she's just so amazing. You're just so amazing, and I appreciate any comment that you have or any input. It's at very high regard. I just want you to know that, you know, you're free to call or text me at any time, and you're never once have I ever felt pressured into ever, and you know, some of the drama or some of the shit that's happened with the characters has been in defense of Sandra, and because and Sandra like kind of was like feeling like kind of like ostracized in a sense, and like I sensed it and reached out to her, and you know, some of the other people like advocated for her, and so I was able to I was like, no, man, fuck, you're not gonna do this shit, man. This is not okay. I take my stand here. You're fucking being bullied. Fuck that. You've been amazing, and fuck that. Okay, so there is no fuck Sandra. It's thank you, Sandra. I think you have probably your first episode check. All right, so back to fucking the Vonninators, the Von Avengers. Localpalooza 2025 starts tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. Either be a heifer. I'm gonna try to be there I'm gonna try to do 24 hours with y'all. I'm gonna try to be part of that. You know, even if I'm just fucking around or even if I'm sleeping, maybe I'll just be on the screen sleeping. The Vongers. All right. But the Vongers is what's the problem with misinformation, false narratives, false news. Riddle and Vaughn have been key to pushing these huge, what the left would call a QAnon conspiracy, which came from a Scientologist, Lee Dundas, okay? And General Flynn really pushed. She attracts them. It's like a fucking magnet. A magnet of like yeah, it's like an episode of Dumb and Dumber. Like, you're telling me you have a chance. They landed on the moon, people. And Von Conspiracies, yes. And so Lee Dundas now we're putting on our tin hat, okay? And you don't have to believe any of this. But there's some articles out there that Lee Dundas really brought the QAnon stuff together on General Flynn's podcast. Now, Lee Dundas called for the execution of people on the Capitol, okay? Something that the people on the left really hated. And I love that my former protesting and all the shit I was involved in has neatly come over to Scientology, because Lee Dundas and Wizzy, our favorite troll Wizzy, the Scientologist, the media team that Lee Dundas hired, were both Scientologists, okay? And I have people that were at J6 that are my friends. And so I'm in this unique position, but what the left hates about the J6ers were the rhetoric that Lee Dundas was saying about hanging people from the gallows and from the Capitol, that they, you know, negate legal process and just pull someone out of the thing and hang them, right? This is something that a Scientologist was promoted that. She promoted hardcore. Yes, she did, not in your business. And so it's been hard for me to get that out there, but some of you, if you guys look into Lee Dundas, and yeah, she's a human rights attorney for Asia. But how did she do it? And why is it so amazing too? It's amazing because Anonymous, which I really liked Anonymous during the Occupy 10 years ago. Anonymous was the platform in which the occupation against the bankers and the Zionists, imperialists, the banking elite, the Bank of America and Wells Fargo, that was all kind of brought out by Anonymous. And Anonymous also then was attached to the big anti-Scientology protesting, okay? And what is the best way to take over a protest? Like, what is the best way? What is the best way to... It's controlled opposition. Just like I believe that Karen and some of these other people are controlled opposition, leading the anti-Scientology movement. I believe that Von's just a useful idiot, truthfully. No offense to you, Von. I'm an idiot, so it's okay. You're useful, though. You are a part of a major set of characters. And so... I don't think that you're hired by the government or anything, even though you've said you've got all sorts of like credentials and all this shit, man. And so, but Lee Dundas was able to take over that Anonymous and attach it to the Q and the Q posts, making what we now know of Anonymous as Q people, right? And she did that by going on General Flynn's podcast. And there's stuff out there. If you look up Lee Dundas, General Flynn, and QAnon, you'll see that. And she was pushing the rhetoric, and she was leading. How did she get such a big group of people? Now, she was involved with the border. They had the Canadian protests, but they were doing border closures. And it wasn't until the borders were closed down and they started messing with the commerce of the trucks did the government and the media really start attacking the Canadian protests. And the Canadian protests, that's a whole different story. But Lee Dundas was involved with that. Now, Lee Dundas was in the Stop the Hate. Was it Stop the Hate? Where they were going to all the... There was a lot of people going to the school board things, and Lee Dundas was involved in a lot of that, okay? And that brought a lot of people to her, to liking her, okay? And Dundas, yeah, so that was all like, Lee Dundas was also with Jeff Hostetler. Jeff Hostetler was a J6er who represented himself. A lot of the I know Sticker Chick and all them don't like him. Jeff Hostetler, that's something that Woo's News, Ruffy, was advocating for Jeff Hostetler because he felt that he got set up by somebody because the guy gave him a hatchet, and then he did a pro offer. The guy did a pro offer at his trial, and they used that pro offer testimony, and they hated Hostetler because he represented himself, and they kind of grouped him in as a sovereign citizen. He claimed that there was a bunch of actors at J6, which I'm not going to get into that, but that is all the shit. But what's important about that is Hochstetter he put on the biggest anti-mask protest, and guess who came and tried to infiltrate that protest? Who came with a bunch of people? Who knows the answer? Thank you, Rafi, for telling me this. Is chat listening to me, or are you guys just doing your own fuck off shit? Not Wizzy. It was not Wizzy. Wizzy, there was a good chance Wizzy was there. Nobody's listening. Lee Dundas. Yeah. Lee Dundas. Yeah, I'm just giving you some shit here. And then I'm ending the stream here. This is about the courtship, but I want to get in a little conspiracy. Because so Lee Dundas was trying to attack to that. But again, Lee Dundas was calling for, and she never went to jail. She never was held accountable. She kind of, she's a human rights person, but she was a Scientologist lawyer for Scientology. So, and she hired Wizzy, the Scientologist, to be the media for for the People's Convoy, per her Instagram thing. But back to Von and Riddle, they have this like QAnon stuff. So that's why Sticker Chick is important. How do you like that? because Riddle is you got that? You like how I brought it back? And it works. It's this neat little package. Like, okay, you fucking you psycho lefties who fucking hate all the MAGAs. Here's your hatred. Put your hatred towards this MAGA. And again, Scientology. Human rights, right? That's their organization. One of their it's a human rights activist, right? Yeah, good, hell yeah, fuck yeah, I love fucking spinning it. All right, and let's spin it a little more. Scientology, Trish Duggan, #1 contributor to Ron DeSantis CPAC organization. You lefties, you fucking hate Ron DeSantis. You have a Scientologist fucking doing it. Who gave all the supplies to the Florida convoy? Clearwater, 2 trucks. Okay, 2 trucks came from Clearwater. They tried to give all that money. They tried to influence Scientology. Ross is an idiot. He tried fucking one of the girls. He had a wife and he was trying to fuck the other girl. He didn't care about it. He was here for fucking and grifting. But he got one thing right. He went on the Disgruntled Truckers podcast and said that Scientology tried to take it over, and that it was Scientology. But he was an idiot. And then he came in with his little fuck girl. But in reality, he he a blind squirrel gets a nut once in a while, and he hit it on the mark that it was the Scientologist. He just didn't have any more information. He didn't do any more deeper research because he's an idiot. But he got it. The broken clock is right twice a week, twice a day. And so you have that influence with Trish Duggan, and then okay, you motherfuckers, you lefties fucking hate RFK. He's like a false prophet to me, like RFK, yeah, RFK. With the vaccine, he's like a lefty, but he's really like he's a lefty for the right, and his legal team is Scientologist shit, right? RFK Jr. His legal team, they're Scientologists. So this shit's important. They're ingrained into the political fucking community. They're very smart about what they do. Junior. So, and I also believe that Trish Duggan was appointed to the Scientologists, number one supporter of Ron DeSantis's CPAC. Also, like I love Conspiracy Hour, right? You need more red string, okay? And I believe was appointed to. Hold on, what board was Trish Duggan appointed to? The Arts. Help me. Who knows the answer to this one? Who was the lady that did a TPC documentary that was on RFK's junior staff? I didn't know that. If anyone knows that answer, that's great. Who knows that? Who knows where Trish Duggan was appointed by Trump? And there's another Sandra. Where are you at? Sandra knows some of these fucking connections too. And then I'm gonna end the stream. Sandra, where the fuck you at, man? Okay, I'm going into the gym. The Kennedy board. Okay. To the Kennedy board. And there was like one more connection. I forget what the other connection is. Is there one more connection, Sandra? Help me out here. Come on. I got all the red string and the little needles out. We're doing a conspiracy board. A QAnon conspiracy board. The lawyer firm. Yes, and the connection is Vaughn, okay? And that is why Snicker Chick is kept around, because Snicker Chick can make me laugh. And it's some weird fucking 1776 RM niche, but it's a fucking niche. Von that shit. We knew that. Yes, I knew that. Riddle and Vaughn, and AP was connected to the Brady stand-up. We got everybody, man. We got Hot Mess Summer from the Louisville shit. We had Kendrick, who's locked up, was a whistleblower for the Louisville shit. We had a little niche thing of the streamer. I mean, you guys met what's his name at the J6 at the federal prison. He was at he covered the Ghislaine Maxwell shit, but he was one of the main witnesses for the Kyle Rittenhouse shooting. And you have Sparrow also that was at the Kyle Rittenhouse. I mean, we got our dirty little fucking conspiracy fingers in every little motherfucking thing here. And it feels great, man. All right. Which one's Game Dev? Why are lights off? Don't mention me ever again. I stopped coming here 2 years ago, Scott. I tried to give you a scooter and you lied about me. I'll let him stay in for a little bit. Oh, let's see. Oh, I unhitted him. Get it all out. Game Dev, man, you've been, don't ever mention my name. What else would you say here? Okay. Well, yeah, I'd like to talk about you once in a while because you went full Vaughn, and you went from being a big supporter. You tried to get me a motorcycle, and you went from that to having some, being involved with a bunch of people that were talking about eating fucking poor Jazzy. And so, yes, I do talk about that. And I probably wouldn't talk about it, or I probably wouldn't bring it up if you had some type of accountability for your actions, Game Dev, which you haven't. And so I will probably to the end of my day be talking about poor Jazzy. And lots of people said that. I undeleted his comment. No, his name was Wire Light Soft Games, and his comment was, "Don't mention me ever again. I stopped coming here 2 years ago, Scott. I tried to give you a scooter, and you lied about me for trying to be good to you instead of being a friend." So, and then he said, "Go on the live yourself." Just Duggan donated $1 million to them, Scott, from New York City. The only one I'm not going to pick on is AP. You have to admit she has balls. She threw me under the bus, and I'll stick up for her just because she does have balls. She's a good. She has the ability to. She had an ability to rile up people, just like I have the same ability. Her dealings with Red and dealings with Telescope, And that backhanded shit is why I don't like her. So back to Telescope and the Eating the Cat. It all revolves back to Lee Dundas and Jazzy and Vaughn. Vaughn is the pinnacle of craziness. Well, Game Dev was part of the whole pirate crew. They were all part of that. So yeah, and she's like, there's no follow through with anything, which I had to do. Yeah, and I'm not gonna unlive myself. I'm pretty happy. I mean, I definitely been going. Now that I got the lawyer shit handled, I think we're covered. But okay, damn, I made that 50 minutes, huh? Holy fuck! All right, I'm out of here. I gotta go do something. I've been fucking just yitty yabbing all day. So, well, we slowly put it all out here, a little bit at a time. That's what makes this Streamer Wars and what makes my channel very different, because we have lots of characters, like those books that are like this thick, or it's like 20 different volumes. How many characters? And you're reading the book and you're in like the 5th, 6th book, and you remember the book, the Cricket Day. Damn, you haven't been in your hot minute. I have you Cricket Day. And you know, you're on the 8th book, and then they make one little mention. They just make one comment, and then you think back to book 1, like, oh damn, that's where that's from. And you, like, it creates rapport with the author and the book, because you're like, oh, I read that, like, that volume 2 years ago, and that one little dot now makes sense. Now this whole thing, like, oh, that's why she said that, or that's why that was done. And that's what this whole Streamer Wars is. It's like all these fucking characters, man. It's like the show Arrested Development. There's all these fucking characters. You have like all these different journalists. You have fucking Corinne, you know, White House coordinator. You have what the fuck's his name? Who goes to the corner? Who's always with the white power people? Yeah, you have all these just different characters. Matt Baker, from, you know, I ran into him on January 20th. He was interviewed by channel Andrew Callaghan, and he interviewed him, and with Mickey Babbitt's or Ashley Babbitt's ashes on his chest, and Andrew Callahan interviewed Lee Dundas. And Andrew Callahan just did an interview with that one dude talking about Trump and all that shit, talking about Scientology. You know, there's all these fucking characters, and there's like, goddamn, you had to say it. Yep. All right, fuck all you motherfuckers. All right, I'm out of here. Have a great day. Much love.